Okay, perfect. So I'm going to quickly make you host again, Roger.
Okay, thanks very much. Second, guys, just replying to WhatsApp. Be within 2 seconds. It's done 9:30 anyway. I'll be with you right now.
There we go. Okay, enjoy your day.
Incoming mail.
Okay, beg your pardon. Just had to reply there. Morning, guys. Just a second. Let's stretch this out a little bit. Okay, where were we? Okay, just look at the names there. Everyone knows me, so I don't have to start introducing myself and go through the normal. I can just go straight over now to the sharing the screen. Just a second. There we are. Okay. Yeah, just another minute to go, and then we can get started. Just give a few more seconds. I'd like to try and start on time. Give a couple of guys a chance to join. Okay, 9:30. Let's get started. Good morning, all. As always, as you know, look forward to the war room. Well, yeah, I hope we get some action today. Like a bloody traffic jam yesterday. Not much happening. Pretty boring. Okay, right. I've got the AUD USD up at the moment. Actually, before I do that, just look at it. We've got a couple of trade ideas out, I think. Have they been sent yet? I think there will be another one's going to be sent out just now. I think we'll start. The previous one's not too bad. See how this one goes. 35 was the entry. Let's have a look. AUD CHF. Yeah, 35 is the entry. Then we got there. Just a little bit above that on the sell, not this one here. On the sell. Let's look at a 5-minute chart. See what happened there. Might just popped up there. Yes, sort of just about popped there to take it. I don't know. If you want to get markets, up to you. But I see the strength, as I've been mentioning quite a few times. I do see the strongest currency. It's proved last week. I think it's going on this week as well. Is the Swiss franc. So I don't want to be selling it. I want to buy it, but I want to buy it against certain currencies, not all of them, not just like willy nilly. Technically speaking, it's had a bit of a. That must be the guy coming out now. I post already, as you know, on my VIP group, and let these guys in. Okay, so I'm looking maybe at a short round about those levels there. And you can see why I want to do it. It's rallied now to the support there, as you can see, at this level, round about this level here. Not the strongest the world's ever seen, but it is a fair bit of support round about here, and a little bit more there, etc. Just going to take this yellow one out of the way. It might confuse you guys. Okay, so I'm still back in the Swiss franc, so I think there's could be some more downside there. That was the general idea why the trade was sent out. Remember, we had one the other day, did okay. Maybe this will do okay as well. Following the sell we had on the NZD yesterday on the Swiss franc, and that's already in a profit, doing quite nicely. That's the idea behind it. Anyway, that was the trade idea behind it. You've all got the figures there. The other one's a Euro USD. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, I think the stop loss, where was the stop loss? 1.06 on the dot. Fairly aggressive around those levels above the last 3 days trading, and take it down here somewhere. The dollar at the moment has, of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours, it went up. And then it came off a bit, and now it's dancing around in front of my screen at the moment anyway. It's slightly in the red, but 6 hours up, a little bit down. And that's it's jumping back to green again. Anyway, so look about a bit of dollar strength trying to creep in, and had a bit of a rally on it. So, I think maybe, just a second. So maybe get some downside there as well. Okay, if you like the look of it. That's the reason again behind it. I'm looking as well at 2 more for you guys, which have been sent, but just want to discuss these 2 with you right now in the TR. I'm looking at a bit of a short on this one against the dollar, but I'm a little bit scared of getting over exposed in the dollar, because Euro dollar, and then we got the AUD dollar, and the other one I want to look at quickly is the GBP US dollar. But that one, I think the ship sailed. I want to get it around about the 122, 1.221 mark, just above the round figure, or round about the round figure. That was early on this morning when I was doing my analysis, and I think the ship sailed. I don't want to start looking back at TPs going back a year or 2 ago. I want to look at this, the TP, so I can't find a decent risk reward. If you enter now, the idea I was showing the hourly chart when I was looking, it was back here somewhere, around about 6 this morning. And that looked like a possible short, but I think that ship sailed. So we'll keep an eye. If we get a bounce back above this guy here, back up here, I think that's a possible short. But the AUD we can look at right now. But just bear in mind, something, never 4. Well, not never 4, but nothing's never. But unlikely to have 4 exposure in one currency, like AUD, NZD, GBP, Euro, all on the dollar. If something goes wrong with the dollar, you've got 4 open trades, and that could be overexposed in one currency. Risk management, risk is what it's all about, as you know. But we got the AUD. If we got to the moment Euro USD out, we can squeeze another AUD USD, but start being careful. Start getting to 3, and not more than 3 at this stage. But anyway, what do you think AUD USD? Do you think it's worth going in now, or maybe waiting a bit? You do risk, when I say wait for a better price, you might not get it, in which case you'll miss the trade. But if you get it, not to miss the trade, it does jump up, and you could have got a better price. That's the decision you have to make. Do we wait till it gets up near the 64 marks, about 40 pips from here, to sell it? Or do you think the 10-day moving average is going to hold? We sell it down now, with a stop obviously above these guys here. Wait for a better price. As long as you understand, Marcus got what I'm on about. That's the most important. You've got to understand what I'm saying, because I get the impression when I hear questions or reactions, etc., they're not fully understanding me. I'm talking about modifying a stop. And they think it's now to enter a trade and things like that. That's all I'm worried about. Once we're on the same page, then you can make a decision. If you're misinterpreting information which I'm giving, then you're working on misinformation, like on the news after time. And that's why you get problems. Well, that's the daily, obviously. 4 hour. I think I looked at it on the 4 hour for a trade. Sometimes I use the 4 hours a trade, and I put the stop up here somewhere. Yeah, put the stop above these guys in the 4 hour to take it down here. The 4 hours one I looked at, actually, good a point there. Time for it. Thanks for reminding me. Actually, more than the 4 hours are short. Looks quite good in the 4 hours of short, doesn't it? And it's above the 4 times 50, 4 times 100, and 4 times 200. What do you think? I've already got one out. I'll give you the figures of it. Just a second. Where are we now? Yeah, I've already got out at 63.60 is the entry. What's it now? Yeah, it's about there now. So 63.60. I'll give you my figures at the moment. Put on the other screen. I've got 63.60, 64. It's too tight, the stop. 64.06. It's only a 46 pip stop, very tight stop. Just bear that in mind. And 62.85 is the TP. Works out about 85 rand a micro. Might make a slightly wider stop. Anyway, but what do you think, guys? Shall I put the calculator up and have a look at it? On the 4 hours, aggressive shorter term sell. Okay. Remember, I'm using the 4 hour chart for this one. What have I got now? 62.90. All on the original one. 62.85. I'll stick to that. You always modify. TP is not the main issue. Risk management is everything. That's good enough. 1.6. A lot of trade signals come out 1-for-1, by the way. So, just remember that. And there's a good reason for it, with the ups and downs of the market. If you do 1.5-to-1 or 2-to-1, what is going to be near your stop loss to your TP? And the up and down move could trigger your stop before it goes on. So a lot of people do 1-to-1, just so you know. But yeah, that works out at, call it $90 and 140. Call it 90 rand if you want to do that. If you like it, I need 4 people, preferably 5 to like it other than myself. From what I'm going to post it to maybe send out to the group. What do you think about that? Just be a bit patient. Chris is coming in, Jock's coming in, Farney's coming in. They might like it as well. So we'll just spend a bit of time, not in a big rush. You got your other trades out. They're not doing too badly. Stick with them. Maybe even modify your stop loss. And I think I have on mine. Sip and D likes it. You're going to sit tight on that. So Sip and D likes it. Anybody else like it? 4 hour time frames. You came in new, not the daily. Michael does like it. Okay. But I mean, likely to do it now, not wait, because that's not in, I might like it, but I'm not doing it for an hour or two. Doesn't count. I don't ever been in sales. I like it, but I'm not buying it right now. Well, then you haven't sold the product or you haven't bought the product. Okay. So it's 2 people like it anyway. That's all right. It could hopefully do that. Good point. Retail sales coming out today. Good point on the US. Christina likes it. Anybody else? Morning, Ebenezer. Do you like it? Do you like it, Celine? Can't leave it all to 3 or 4 guys here. Everyone, even the beginners, got to interact. So we need your opinion, not just leaving everyone else to do it. Okay, Ebenezer likes it. Anybody else like it? What about you, Arno? Celine, what about? Adam, Alex, Andre. Morning, Pietro. You're going to leave it, okay? And we've got 3 like it. I need 1, preferably 1 more. Rhino likes it. And 5. That's good enough. Just a second. We'll just save this and pass it on. Just a second. Here we go. Let's make sure it's the right one. Just a second. Yeah. So I've got all this crap out the way. Just give me a moment here, guys. I'll make a mistake. You better write that down. I've had straight from the last meeting to this one. I haven't written anything down, so you just got to be patient. Celine Happy, good for you, Celine. All right, let's have I've got to look at a couple of these. All right, just give me a moment. Why don't I write them down? Didn't have a chance. USD, sell. 63.60. $406. 285. And that 80, 840, 40, 90, 140. Right, just minimize that. And then I'll look at another one. Got to write these down. AUDC. I should do it from here, probably easier. USD. What was it? 1.0550. Don't all leave me now. Someone just leave there. Just be patient. Got to write this down. It's all to aid you guys. Someone's got to be patient in this market, even with me. 0460. EPSLTP. 95 170. In case I refer, so I've got it handy there. AUDCHF. 57.35. What's the other one? Stop loss 58 and TP 55.62. And what is it? Risky 135.240. Is that the lot? Yes, that's the lot, eh? Right. Now I want to go to just let these guys in. Yeah, NZDCHF. That was yesterday's. See if anyone wants to modify. Now the trade got in at price of entry was 41. It's a bit close. I don't like 20 pip stops. A bit just scratching. I prefer 25.30. Yeah, if it come back down to maybe hang on a minute, have I got that right? 53.40, that's right. If it come down and drop below maybe 10, we can modify. Just remind us, keep an eye on that. And still reduce risk if you like. You can maybe bring your stop loss down by 30 pips. It'll still take a knock, but it's 30 pips less of a knock, I suppose, when we're looking at. But getting down to entry now, 20 pips away, 34. It's less than that. It's only 41, sorry. It's only 20 pips away. It's a bit close. So maybe you could actually still modify it. 0.5360. 0.5360. That gives you 40 pips. Okay. So if you're in the trade, you want to modify your stop, make it 53.60, and then you reduce your risk, but it's still there. We might get better. And AUD USD has gone out. Okay, I'm gonna put that out as well. Just make sure it's correct. All right, that's how many we got in the dollar, euro dollar. Any more dollar ones? No, I think be a bit cautious if we do another dollar one. I like that GBP one, but just bear in mind that you got 3 positions of the dollar, just be a little bit on the careful side. Okay, all right, we can get that out of the way. See how we're doing. Okay, so yeah, you can still reduce your stop, like I mentioned, from there. Now, oh yes, there's something else I want to discuss is Disney. We'll have a look at that first. Just remind me of Disney just now, because that didn't open up till later on, so we can put that in the back burner for now. But I'm looking for a short on that, as mentioned yesterday. GBP AUD for a sell. You mentioned that yesterday. You're quite right. Well done, Ebenezer. You're quite right. I was a bit hesitant. But at the time I thought it was the right thing to be hesitant, but now it looks like I might have missed the bloody boat, eh? Oh, yeah. 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 One with the 4 hour. What was the daily? Just thought we might have missed the bloody boat on that one. How far has it come off today? It's come off, well, hang on. It's come off 140 odd pips, and that's only in less than 10 hours. So you might get a profit-taking bounce, or maybe I'm just using this as an excuse because I'm chicken. But yeah, clearly it's now going looking like it's likely to be some downside. My problem is, will I get a risk reward? I think personally, I'm going to be a bit of a chicken on this one and see if I can get a better price. But it looks like if it goes back up to 192, which is, I know it's 60 pips away, holds and starts coming off again, I might more keen to sell it. And I'm not that sure the Aussie dollar's that strong anyway. If it'd been the CHF, I might be more keen. In fact, I'd be a lot more keen to let's go in at market. Because it's the AUD, I'm a lot more hesitant to be. Let's call it as it is. I'm a lot more hesitant. So I see a vision, Ebenezer. So I'm gonna sit in the fence and chicken out a bit and say, I hear you, but I want to get in a slightly better price. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's another one. You've traded a while. You've heard that expression. A lot of people say, "Don't catch a falling sword." Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna be a club on that one and see if we get 92. If it gets to 92 and starts coming off, I'll revisit with a much more positive negative on it. The settings are negative. Okay, hope that will make sense. Anyone who's not a chicken wants to do this. If we get a risk reward, I'll have a look at it. But remember, it's the AUD. It's not the strongest currency in the firmament. Yeah, a couple of CC members, including myself there. Okay. And to be honest, it was your idea, Beniz, and I think you came up with it there. Yeah, rather be a chicken than catch a falling sword sometimes. Yeah. You might miss out, but but at least you didn't lose. If you grab it and it does go wrong, maybe I'm just talking myself. Yeah. Leave it alone. Okay. Rather be a chicken. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, I'm looking at Disney. If it comes with a trade idea that's forex, something like that, it's open at the moment. That comes first. Yeah, that's also true. Okay, I'm seeing a short in this one. As I said again, guys, this is not open now. It'll only open at 3:30, and you don't use the calculator you can see on the screen there. Use the Excel one for this one, but we can have a look at this one if you like. I think it's gone up to support area, and okay, we know that. Extraordinary comment. Okay. Someone just posted by the manager. Extraordinary comment. Yeah. Yep. I see downside on this one. I see downside a lot of the market at the moment, to be honest, at the moment. Maybe take a up there. I'll tell you what the figures already been worked out. We're going to say that later on. The reason being is people are trading without really knowing what they're doing, and they complain. They say they can't put send it out now. They can't put the signal in. They don't seem to realize it's not open. So we'll probably send out a bit later on. But I've got it at the moment, the figures, and I've got the figures for you at, tell you now, get this guys out of the way. Okay, I've got the figures at entry 85.70. Got a pen and paper these down. A take profit. I'll do the stop loss first. The stop loss 87.20. Have we got that? And the take profit 81.0. Okay, it'll be sent out later on, so don't panic. And that will give you a $2 risk for just over $4 potential profit. So call it around 40 Rand risk per share. Okay, so obviously $2 if you're in a dollar account. If you're in a Rand account, make it around 40 Rand a share if you want to do it. So remember, you don't go 0.1 on this, probably default to 1.0 anyway, minimum. It's 40 Rand per 1.0 if you want to do it. So therefore, if you like to look at that one, that's a short on that one. I'll write it down to come back to as well. Just a second to refer back to. Give me a moment. 85, 70, 81, 87, 20, 81. Okay, there it is. Right. Well, again, we've got quite a few on the dollar going out at the moment. I'll come to that right now. I've got it written down if you want to refer back to that discovery one. Right. Dollar Swiss franc. Good for a longs. Now, first of all, remember we've got at the moment AUD euro dollar out. So if you're going to do this one, remember keep an eye on a possible rally on the GBP US dollar. And if that comes a tradable, that's 3 on the dollar. If you go for this one, you'll have 4, which means you're overexposed in the dollar. Number one. Number two, it's still holding on the 200-day moving average. Number three, if you, what are you looking at? If you're buying this, you are selling the Swiss franc. That to me, personally speaking, is a no-no, Tembi. So number one, you'll be overexposed to the dollar. Number two, there's no confirmation of a breakthrough. It's holding at that level there. And number three, to buy this one, you are selling probably the strongest currency of the majors at the moment, which I'm not sure I'm happy about. Those are the reasons I would leave it alone. Having said that, you've got to remember, guys, that's my opinion. If I was 100% right, then you'd all say, sorry, guys, I'm right. I'm right. Because I'm not 100% right. You know, nobody is. I'm not knocking myself here. Nobody. Anybody comes up and says they're 90, 95, 100% right, that guy is talking nonsense. Nobody does that. Okay, so those are the reasons. My opinion, my suggestion, advice is leave it alone. If anything, but not the moment, I'd short it. But I don't particularly want to sell the dollar either. Don't want to sell either of those two currencies. If you get involved with them, you've got to sell one if you're buying the other one by definition. So I would strongly suggest leave this one alone. Having said that's my opinion. Now, Pietro trade before, Ebenezer trade before, I think Simpindili, there's a few guys, Chris says, Farniaz. Let's hear your opinion, guys. Plus trade before, you're a bit more confident as well, which helps. And don't forget Gerard. Hi, Gerard. You've traded before. Tembi Kosi, Tembi is quicker, is looking to buy the dollar Swiss franc. I've stated my opinion. What do you guys think? This is what the trade's about. We want opinions to interact and have them. We can learn from them. It's supposed to be a debate, not an argument, by the way.
Yes, Roger.
Go for it.
When you're saying it's still holding on the 200 moving average, what do you mean? Sorry, not what do you mean? How do you tell that? If I look at these charts here, which one shows me that it's still holding on the 200 moving average?
Well, I've got the daily chart up and the 200 moving average, the brown line, and it hasn't broken up. When it tried to break, the sellers came in. Yesterday, the sellers came in. Okay, it broke through and held, and the sellers came in. Then we look at the range, 60 pip was about 70 pip range. At the moment, since yesterday, we've got a 30 pip range. It's trying to see, should I come off a bit or go up? The traders are indecisive on it. So it's sideways at the moment without specific direction. But what I'm saying is you can see that 200-day moving average. It's not broken it. It's attacking it, but it's not broken it. And it tried to yesterday, and the sellers came in to defend it. That's not exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. You get me now.
Which brings me back to the CHF. You see the Aussie dollar and Swiss franc.
AUD. Can I move on from this one, guys? Yeah, Pietro. I thought you'd say that, Pietro. Yeah, that's no clap for me. That's strong. Absolutely, leave it alone. Yeah, I agree on that one. But I want other people not to be biased. I want them to have their opinions so we can all learn. You might frighten them off your too powerful and they'll chicken out. No, we want them to. AUD CAD. Sorry, AUD CAD. Go on.
Yes. So I just wanted to understand so that I can learn to
Right, no,
like I
absolutely.
called you yesterday. I wanted
Perfect.
to learn as to how do I do these things because you have analyzed the cell here.
Analyzer what, sorry?
I'm saying I'm asking now on the Aussie dollar and Swiss franc so that I understand how one can analyze and then make up their mind as for the
Okay.
trend.
I
You have
asked a
analyzed
lot.
the cell on this one.
I ask a lot of people to ask those questions, and I think it's a great question. I mean, I'm just being polite. I want people to ask why, and then we learn the strategy. If they don't interact like you do, how can they teach? Absolutely. Right. First of all, the major. We'll mention again the major ones are the 200 and the 50. No other reason because they're
Yeah.
internationally, universally used, and they use a
Yeah.
filter and support and resistance. And it's also below the 100 was the black one and the 10-day. So all four moving averages is below. Clearly, therefore, the Aussie dollar on the trend basis is weaker than the Canadian, number one. Number two, as you can see, there's lower highs and lower lows. So, well, maybe not this last one, I'll give you that. But, generally speaking, and you can see that's angling down. That's definitely going down, going down. You get the idea. 10 days a bit too short to get an idea. That could just be moving towards a rally. Number one. So I'm looking to sell the rally. Now, as you look back here on that cross there, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but 8 or 9, something like that, areas of resistance support. Because I want to short it, I'm going to call that area support. It's rallied back to support. So I would therefore, by looking at that, look at downsides. So number one, AUD, CAD, which is stronger? CAD. What's oil doing? It's holding above 80 now, but just dropped below. I said that now, but it's been fairly strong, mainly because of worries about the Middle East. It's an oil-producing nation, good for the currency. AUDs have been a bit weak lately, so out of the two currencies, I'm backing the the CAD as being the stronger of the two. And it's backed up what the buyer and the seller is doing. It's in the sell zone. So already I'm looking for a short, and it's confirmed because it's in the sell zone, as you can see. Then I'm looking for an entry. So I'm looking at to rally to area of support. Now, is that good enough to enter? It's been defended. You can see a bit of a wick there. I'll show what I mean. See a bit of a wick there. Or do we wait to get there, maybe for a better price? So let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour being supported there. Let's this again. A little bit of support resistance there. And again, it's no, sometimes you get a strong in the 4 and weak in the daily, bit conflicting. No confliction there at all below the three major moving averages. We can look at the longer term weekly. Clearly, the 10-day is down and the others are down as well. And again, as you can see, there is some support area there. Shorter term hourly, I think you'll find some sellers are coming in. And these work on all of them. Even the short term moving average, it seems to be holding. Let's try the 15-minute. Okay, it's a buy in the 15-minute, but that's such a short term. That's just for the rally since this morning at 2 o'clock this morning. Very short terms, only a few hours. Give it a break, So hours probably a better one to look at. Okay, so it seems to be holding there. So to me, that looks like a sell. And it's not USD either, so we're not going to be overexposed on the US dollar either. So that to me looks like some downside, yeah. I'm still in that trade before. Some guys might still be in it. We had a trade on there as a short already. Some guys might still be in it to hit the TP, but I'm leaning towards a short on that. You asked the reason, which I'm so bloody pleased you did, because that's what we're trying to aim at in the trading room. And that's what I look at. Some people like other indicators like CCIs and relative strength and ADXs and whatever. If you work with them, stick with what you're happy with. Don't just train just swing every time somebody gives you a bit of advice. If you're happy with a channel consolidator, you're happy with the relative strength, stochastic MACD, whatever you use, stick with it. I don't use it so much, but a lot of people do. A fantastic trader, very successful guys. I keep it a bit more simple than that. And so I personally do see some downside on that one. So if you like it, you've got to remember. Okay, pleasure, absolute pleasure. If you ask the question, I'll give you full
I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. Now, so that I understand your charts in the future. Your brown is the 200 moving average. You said.
Yep. 200, not
And
200 day, sorry, it's very important. Not 200 day, 200. You're quite right. It's 200 multiplied by the candlestick. So if it's a weekly, it's a 200 week. If it's an hour, it's a 200 hour. It's 200 multiplied, simple, not exponential, simple moving average. Okay, average price over 200 times that. So put an hour, it's the average price over 200 hours or weeks or whatever, in this case, days. Okay. Sorry, carry on.
Yes. And your purple is your 10 is your 10 moving average.
That's correct.
Then the navy one is your fifth is your what?
This one here is the black is 100. This dark blue
Yeah.
is a 50. And the purple
Okay.
or magenta, what do you want to call it, is the 10. So 10, 50,
Thank
100,
you.
200. Yeah.
Thank you.
It'll make your trading life a lot easier. It works for me. Works for me. I've been doing this for a while now. It works a lot easier instead of the trouble I have with indicators. I mentioned before, I'm not knocking them. You use what you like. Is they tell you after the action. It's like going out into the rain, waiting for the barometer to tell you it's raining, and you're getting drenched. You know what I mean? It's delayed. It follows the price action, and it takes time to react to it before it tells you. And I've seen relative strength indicators showing very oversold, but the currency or the commodity still is going down and down and down. You know what I mean? So you got to be aware of their limitations as well as their good parts. Yeah, and the next thing you look at is the much price action. Let's look at over the last couple of days. 65 is not bad. If you're looking at, say, it's a pretty good sell, everything's looking great, and look at the last 3-4 days, and that's moved more about 30, 40 pips. Well, that's a traffic jam. You don't want to stuck in something with a possible 30, 40 pips. There's no point. You understand what I mean? So those little things, and it's not that complicated. I'm going to give you an example if we can move on from this one. We haven't looked at it for a while. ADNZD. I'll tell you right now, my opinion, immediately in the sell zone, better check all the price up to date. So I'm going to click on the 4 and go back to the daily. Yeah, okay. Had a bit of a rally on the Aussie. Is that a profit-taking rally? Yes. But we both know those countries are very similar accents, similar cultures. Just one's better at rugby than the other one. Ho, ho, ho. And yeah, and similar. One's a bigger economy, more people, a bigger country, but it's still similar. And just to rally up, still in the sell zone because the similarity. I probably leave it alone. Having said that, I'm more back in the NZD at the moment, so I might consider it near the 50-day moving average after it's confirmed hold. I don't get in there because it might break through. You don't say I'll put a sell limit in there. What if it continues up? You got to wait till it gets to 1 and then falls off. Then you have the confirmation. You put your stop above and TP wherever you want to put it. And that way you can do it fairly quickly. Let's try something else. CAD CHF. Right. It tells you immediately it's between them, not the 100. I'm talking about the 50 and the 200. It's between the two. Those are the most popular. Immediately I see it's a neutral zone. Immediately see today we've got a lot of indecision. Indecision yesterday went up. Sellers came down, bought it up. It's a bit of a range trade. Is it worth trading the range? 37 pips. It's not worth it. Too tight. Move along. I go through every single one in the morning like that. And it takes me 15, 20 minutes max, sometimes quicker, depending. Every time it takes a bit longer if I find something good. Then I go into the weekly 4 hour, 1 hour, check it out again, and then write down some figures. It takes a bit more time because it's worth spending time on. So I'm looking at it, I'm spending more time on it because it could be a possible trade. But I can look at them pretty quickly, and it's not difficult. I'm a bloody genius, trust me. It's just a bit of practice and keeping it simple, stupid, just like me. So yeah, and it takes complications out of it, and you'll be able to look like a headline after a while. You get the idea. I'll give you another example. What do I mean by that? CAD JPY. Yeah, clearly the buy zone. We know the Japanese fairly weak. We know about Japanese intervention, 150 yen to the dollar. So we've got to watch that. So I'm a bit nervous the yen anyway. If we're going to do it, buy it. Where do I want to buy it? Clear nearer to the 50-day moving average. Bit high up at the moment. Will I get a risk reward? Probably not. I'll leave it alone. Bang, on to the next one. You get the idea. I'm not trying to confuse and show a bit of practice, like changing gear. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to change gear in a motor car. You don't have to be a rocket scientist for this. Best thing you can do is get your position size right and get your head right, your emotions right. Before you jump in, work out prepared to risk, and if your head can't hack it, don't do it. It's no good saying I can afford to lose 5,000 rand, so I'm doing it. Then you do. Hits your stop loss. You lost 5 grand. Now you're beside yourself with and incredibly upset. You know what I mean? Then you're overexposed. You've got to have that head comfortable. When I go in, if I lose, I'm annoyed, but it doesn't hurt me. If it hurts you, you're oversized position. I hope that will make sense. It'll take a lot of the anguish out of it, promise you. And it gives Ebenezer a bit of a grin as well. I went fairly quickly, but I'm not trying to teach you the ins and outs. We'll go into more detail later on. It's to get an idea how we overcomplicate things unnecessarily. And remember, a lot of books have been written, all these indicators, and I think a lot of the money has been made by the fantastic, clever mathematical introverts who write it and sell books on it, but it's all stuffed around by a fundamental coming through or emotional action. I waded through Karl Marx's Das Kapital, obviously the translated version, I don't speak German. And it's all great stuff, but completely missing what drives people, the emotional ups and downs, and etc. I see a lot of discussions by highly erudite intellectuals on YouTube discussing stuff. And I think you're all missing the point here, mate. You're taking out the emotional side of it. And that don't care. If you're a professor, if somebody kidnaps your child, you're emotionally distraught. Never mind logic. You get the point. So just remember, it's your head is the biggest problem. Not entry and exit. Entry and exit is well, especially exit is quite a tough one. I look for entry to buy sometimes nearer, but it might not come back to this area here. It might hold here and start moving up. And you might see oil price going to $95. And then the Bank of Japan says, we're not going to strengthen the yen anymore. So yen will weaken. So I'd be quite happy to buy it there with a TP up here somewhere and a stop loss down there. It depends on the situation. But the moving average to filter above the blue and the brown, a buy zone, between the two, neutral zone, buy or sell it. In other words, down here, sell the rally, buy the pullbacks to either here, and areas of support and resistance. Simple as that. Got to think at your feet a little bit, but that comes with a bit of practice. I always use the expression like a car. It's familiar. When you're learning how to drive a car, the instructor showing you two hands on the wheel and all the rest of it, and everything's 100%. I promise you, when the pupil's dropped out the car and he's driving home, he breaks one of those rules. We have a saying, once you know the rules, you know when and how to break them. But before you know how to break the rules, know the rules first of all. I bet a lot of you guys have been driving for a while, have gone over 120 on the N1 or something like that before. But if you didn't have a speedometer just starting, you probably wouldn't. You'd obey the rules. Okay, just bear that in mind. I've gone against the trend. I've done daft things. It's my money, bit of experience. I'm taking the risk of it. But I'm going to put it out to everybody just starting. And then it goes wrong. And then, we were taught in the classes that should have been a buy. Now Roger's told to sell. And why is that? Then I get myself into trouble. But I've often broken the rules. But do it with your own money. Just remember, when you're dealing with people just starting, you've got to be like a driving instructor. Hope that makes sense. Dollar CAD, probably not, but look at it. Sorry, I went on a bit, but I think it's important to get these tips. It worked for me. Why should it work for you? Now, as mentioned before, you got three currencies in the strong zone. The strongest is the Swiss franc, then the dollar, and then the Canadian, third strong in that order. Then you got the sort of middleweight division, which would be the NZD, AUD, and that's about it really. Then maybe light middleweight going to the weak, maybe lightweight to light middleweight, something like that, will be the pound, the yen, and what was the other one? The euro. Okay. Now, the yen, I'm worried about because the intervention of the bank. So leave the yen out of the equation. Okay. So when I'm going to be doing this, if I'm going to go into currency pair, I'll be buying one, so I'm selling the other one, or I'm selling one, I'm buying the other one. So my worry about this particular one, if I'm buying the dollar, I've got to sell the Canadian. I'd rather buy the dollar and sell a weaker currency. Well, we've done that. We've got the euro out and we've got the AUD out. And the possibility if we get a rally, a pound out. So if those are three weaker ones. Now, if you start going the dollar CAD, first of all, now you've got four trades in one currency, i.e. the US dollar. So if something goes wrong with the dollar, you could end up, you could end up with tears big time. And number two, the Canadian's quite strong. So for the moment, I would leave I would not be selling the Canadian at the moment. At the moment, things change, the US or the Swiss franc. Now, if you're going the dollar Canadian or the dollar Swiss franc, inevitably you've got to sell one, which I don't want to do. So for that reason, I'm leaving it alone. Number one. Number two, it's come up to resistance and the seller defending it, even though it's in the buy zone. I get that. Okay, so that's another problem. And apart from the ones I just mentioned, you got there. You got to aim up there to make it worth your while and put your stop down there. There's more reason to leave it alone than to get in it. That's the reason. Yes, exactly, Ebenezer. I like your photography teacher. Yeah. So you're an arty farty, my friend. Good stuff. Good stuff. My sister is. You'd get on, but she does more painting. For longer term, I probably would. It's difficult, Gerard, because the dollar is shifted around so much by fundamentals. Interest rates come down, it'll weaken it. To continue up, will strengthen. Outside the control, anything could happen next 2-3 months. Not too sure on that one, but I take your point. But yeah, that's just an old saying. Once you know the rules, then you know to break them. But if you don't know the rules yet, don't break them. Stick to the strategy. Play it cute when you know what you're doing and you got the money and it's totally your decision and you know what you're in for. If you want to drive at 160 and 120 zone and you know what you're doing and you know there's not much traffic on the road and you want to take the risk of a big fine or a weekend in the bloody holding cell, but you decide to do that, that's up to you. The only difference is that if you crash that car into somebody else, that's not so cool. If you bug yourself up, that's okay. Just remember that. That's a slight difference of the car. You could hurt somebody else, and that's not fair. But otherwise, yeah, if you know them, you want to bend them a little bit, it's up to you. And CAD, oh, thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah, CAD coming out this afternoon as well. CAD CPI is coming out this afternoon. Is another negative to leave it, another tick to leave it alone. Though the rules, you can break them willingly. I rather like that. Yeah. And to remember, got to remember, you know, if you live in America, for argument's sake, most guys would have heard of this stuff anyway. They might not be involved in the Forex market or the stock market and like that. But the average person there, because they've been doing it for over 100 years, will know somebody. A lot of guys in this country, it's completely new to them. It's like banging a computer in front of somebody 100 years ago. So it's quite a bit to come. And when I was on Botswana, they had a tiny little stock market. And so everything was completely new, out of the box, for want of a better word. So they've got to sort of learn something that's completely outside the box. And so we'll have to, cut some slack on that as well. And it takes a bit of time because it's up and down as well. I mean, you've trained all your life. You go down to Durban after 3 hours, Harrismith, 6 hours you're in Durban. Now you're told after 1 hour in Pietermaritzburg and after 2 years, you're back in bloody Harrismith. What is going on? Yeah, it's a little bit of a sort of out of the box stuff. But it'll become habit if you stick with it. Okay. Hope we're good. Okay, let's have a look at a couple of the trades. Just a second. Check this second. But don't forget, look at your fundamentals. Have you all got it? I better post them again. Not everyone might not have it. Just a second. I just want to post them for you. Just in case you haven't. I asked, has everyone got them? Nobody said anything, so going to take them for them. Maybe a lot of people are a bit shy on that. Okay, never mind. Where are economics? There we are. Check your economic fundamentals, as Gerard did and reminded me that we do have that coming up later. And I'm going to put the dollar index. I'm always talking about the dollar index, so I'll put that up for you as well. These links are very important. Doesn't take long to print them. You've already got them, but I'm sure 1 or 2 haven't. Might as well do it every lesson. Not lesson, every forum, I should say. And I'll give you the yields as well on the 10-year US bond or note. Okay, it wasn't man. I must put my number down as well. You all got it. We'll put it down anyway. Okay, now I get quite busy, guys, so please stick to WhatsApp. Please not demos. and please have a funded account. And 50 Rand is not a funded account. You're wasting your time. I don't be rude, but I'm going to be rude. You're wasting my time. If you think you can trade 100 Rand, go back to the classes. That's not going to happen. So got to be a funded account. And oh yes, as well, I have a VIP group. If you want to be a member, it's free of charge, but you have to have a minimum balance 2.5 grand. Why? Because then you got some capital. Diversify. If you don't, if you have 1,000 Rand or something, just to start, I get that. You're a bit fried, it's new, but you can't diversify. One guy came up and got quite stroppy with me. He had about, I don't know, about 400 or 500 Rands account. And he wanted to go with a second on 100-to-1 leverage. Wanted to go in the second one, he couldn't do it. And I said, you haven't got enough margin. And he called this broker a load of old Safa's going down the drain. These brokers are rubbish, the rest of it. Well, it's like going to Pick and Pay and the product cost 100 Rand. You got 80 Rand. Pick and Pay is rubbish. So don't give their product 100 Rand product me for 80 Rand. Well, no, you haven't got enough sodding money. What's it about this you don't understand? You know what I mean? So it's very difficult to keep your temper sometimes because it's just idiotic. It should be complete, utter, blindly obvious common sense. You're trying to fight an international $1 trillion market with a bloody pea shooter. So you've got to have some funds to diversify. You've got to learn your stuff and hopefully have enough money to go into more than one trade. Otherwise, all your eggs in one basket. And if you can't get that concept, you've got to seriously ask whether trading is for you. You know what I mean? If you think you can make a living out of a couple $100 Rand, well, the luckiest guy I've ever come across, or you're living in cuckoo land. You've got to do it properly. I'm not being harsh. I want people to realize that. How come we haven't got that out yet? Oh, I know why we haven't got it out, because we couldn't get a decent price. I want to sell it. Absolutely, I want to sell it. What a decent price, Gerard. Okay. It seemed to got there. What the hell's that doing there? Maybe it's there for a reason. Yeah, I think it might be there for a reason. I was hoping to get even better price. I was hoping to get round about, yeah, that's why it was there. Round about the round figure, maybe slightly higher. Yeah, right about there. I wanted to get round about that price there. I think I missed it. The only reason I'm telling you right, Herald, I haven't come, I'm looking at it the last couple of days. I don't want to take a TP. I think you'll see what I mean by this, guys. Down to this guy here, it's only 60 pips away. So I've got to start using these guys back here on the weekly. Now we're talking here 2 years ago. So it's a bit of a stretch. Not saying it won't go there. And we could even use maybe a Fibonacci extension. What can we use? We have to use this guy here, I suppose. How far is that? We could maybe use that 261.8 Fibonacci extension, but this is a daily chart, yeah. But that's the only thing that's holding me back. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Is that lack of bloody target. And yeah, so I'm just a bit worried from that point of view. But absolutely agree, yeah. I'm actually chaffing the bit to get in on it. And the CHF JPY. But I'm worried about the end, like I mentioned, it's a bit bloody high at the moment. But believe me, this one, I'm chaffed to get in. And I'm chaffed to get in this one. Chaffing at the bit to get on this one as well. But that ship sailed. I want to do it this morning when it's at 2.2 level. But I thought I'd wait on and discuss it in the our own trade room, not yours. And by that time, the ship had sailed. It hasn't bounced. So, yeah, it's annoying, but yeah. Yeah, I think to certainly reduce stop loss. You know, if you get it, let's say 100 pips stop loss and you're about 20 pips in profit. It's a bit, unless a fund is coming out, then you can move to break even, a major funding. Otherwise, maybe modify a stop loss by 20 pips. So you're still going to lose, but you lose 80 instead of 100. You get the idea. So no problem on that. Hope that made sort of sense. Yeah. Just want to mention one thing or something. Just want to mention about demo accounts. Learn how to try new strategies or learn how to operate the platform. That's what it's for. try not to get involved too much in learning how to trade on it, because the majority of the difficulty of trading is emotions which only occur with real money. If it's fake money, you don't have that. So you're not going to learn much. It's like just going and getting a 7-iron, just bang it one after the other in the driving range, 100 balls. I'm not learning from that. You've got to get out there, you know, and put money on it. You know what I'm saying? That's when you learn. That's just a little bit of a tip. Morning, Solid. Good to have you. You're a GBP. They're both a bit weak, Florence. Hey, we got to sell an AUD USD. We've already got it out there. 63.60 or something, isn't it? We've already got what we at? We've got it out, yeah. 63.60. We've got to sell on it. So we're all going to trade either on it. You're a GBP. Before I even looked at it, they're both weak currencies. So I'm already reluctant. But look at it anyway. Now, on top of it, on the daily charts in the neutral zone. It's not even a strong or a mean. So it's a halfway in a what you call it, a neutral zone. It's not even the top of neutral zone, or the bottom of the neutral zone. So neutral, halfway house, both weak currencies, bit of resistance there. What do you want to do anyway? Sell? No, you didn't even say what you want to do with it, Florence. Just put it up there. Please, guys, when you put up a trading idea, tell me what you want to do with it. Don't just say GBP AUD. That doesn't mean anything. You know, I had egg and bacon for breakfast. Oh, that's fascinating. You know what I mean? Yeah, just put up what you want to do with it. But I can tell you right now, what I want to do is nothing. Leave it alone. Anybody disagree? You want to buy it? Thanks, Florence. Okay, you want to buy it. Well, it's right at resistance. It's in the neutral zone. If you're buying that, you're selling the pound. What's so strong about euro the pound at the moment? If you sell it, you're buying the pound, not to kill the pound either. You're selling a week against a week, like a dollar against a Swiss franc. You know what I mean? And it's at resistance, not broken through. There's a heck of a lot of ticks to leave that alone. And it's just jumped up in 10 hours today by 26 pips, not even much. So it's only 26 pips. So there's not even much price action. Leave it alone. Strongly advise. Pietro agrees with me as well. Anybody see a buy on this one? I could be wrong. Let's hear your opinion. I might learn something here because I can't see a buy at all on this now. I'm glad you asked, by the France. I'm encouraging you to do that. Not negating, far from. Don't get me wrong. I'm very pleased you took the trouble and asked because this is how we learn. And you put your hand up, which is good. Most people are too shy to do that. Yeah, I can see squat. Anybody see something there? That bus is gone. I think the bus is just not even going anywhere. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, we're agreed. Okay. Have those guys a trade before, lads? Sorry, Florence. Lasses. Yeah. Let's have a look. I don't spend too long. I want to give you reasons why and then move on. Okay. Ah, yeah. Good stuff. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think can. Was it 41? Yeah. Get the break even. It pumped up a couple of times, but it's not getting headway to the upside. I think so, Florence. Yeah. Ah, you're learning. LIA. Well done. It's not getting 41, so it's trying to pop a couple of times. It's not getting any legs to get anywhere. So you can bring it down to your break-even point. Yeah. Thank you, Gerard. Yeah. So, guys, if NZD CHF, you can bring your stop to break-even. That's around about the 40 mark, 53.40. That means 53.40. Doesn't mean I entered at 53.20. I put a break-even 5 pips away. Never have a stop of 5 pips. If you do, you might as well just take your profit or whatever, because you will be stopped out. And it's very understandable. I learned the hard way as well. Close to stop, less our risk. Yeah, the more likely you're going to stopped out and you're not on board if it hits the profitable area. Profit too quickly, stop loss too tight, fear is moving your strategy, not your head. Yeah, but that was then. We'll see. I'm more concerned that the Swiss franc is much stronger than the NZD, so I'm happy with that so far. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Gerard. Let's have a look. Sell euro dollar. We got one out in the euro dollar, Solly. You should have received it. Sent out. Unless you haven't got any money in your account or Empo, beg your pardon. If you got less than 500 Rand, you can't, you don't get seals anyway, because we're trying to encourage you to fund it. Now, to do it or don't do it. It's like going shopping at Pick and Pay with 10 Rand in your pocket. You're wasting your time, you know. Where are we now? Yeah. What do we get in at? Euro dollar? 50. Oh, it's actually happening. Good stuff. Good stuff. With slight profit there. It's all right. Bit early days to jump in by modifying. You can modify stop loss down by 15 if you want, but don't get to break even. It's too close. 63.60 AUD. What are we doing there? It's down about, only down a few pips. Remember, you got in on the sell and you get out on the buy. So ignore this one. Look at this one now. It's only 7 pips. It's better than nothing. I mean, it's in a profit, but only 7 pips. So nice to know, but leave it alone other than that. AUD CHF was another one we got out. Just make sure we got out this morning. I think we did, yeah. We got it at 57.35. Obviously too close to modify, but at least in a couple of pips. So it's not too bad. So the ones this morning are doing okay. And yeah, and the one yesterday is doing okay. I mentioned before about oil, too much fundamental political carry on the oil, leave it alone for the moment. Same with gold. I have heard, by the way, I think it's next month, we have looks like they're bringing up petrol price down by about R1.70 a litre. What a bloody pleasure. That's a decent price move. But whether they're going to do it or not, another story. But let's look what they're 1.79 or something per 95, that is. And diesel, I'm not sure, but 95 November. Can't remember what date. But anyway, just something to throw out there. Sounds quite good. Oh, good stuff, Umpo. So you're just saying, how's it going? Well, it's not going too badly. Bit quiet, but happens. It's like everything else in life. Fast days, quiet days. You know the score. Just a second. Just 2 seconds here. Okay. Second, nothing else. Gonna check. It gets quite busy here. People ask stuff and I don't let them down. I'll try and help them. Okay. Yep, so we're all good there. Okay, fine, yeah. And always remember, guys, don't get so many trades, you got no free margin left. Even if you got 50K in your account, if you got about 49,000+ on the market and about a grand free margin, you're opening 4 or 5 different trades. The chance of getting margin called are huge, very likely. So, and then you're going to be highly fed up because it might all be good trades. You know what I'm saying? So just remember, even you got a bit of free margin now and you enter another trade, you might not have enough free margin after you entered the trade. You might have some, but not enough to maintain the open trades. You must remember you've got to keep free margin or you will be margin called. Always remember that. You tend to trade them, so now you know it won't happen to you. But a lot of guys, it happens all the time. And normally guys trying to trade by, instead of putting more money in, increasing their leverage so they can go in bigger. And it usually comes back and bites. The idea of higher leverage, not to you to try and dodge putting more money in. All it means you're going in overexposing with not enough money, and you will get margin called. Hope I'm not being harsh, but I'm trying to teach proper trading principles here, because all the stuff that trip people over, I've been there, done it, got the T-shirt on, and I don't want you to happen to you as well. Trying to put an old head on younger shoulders doesn't always work, but I do try. Okay, good stuff. All right. Any questions, guys? Anything want to look at? Anything on the strategy line? You got economic calendar. You saved your charts. You know how to go to specifications and look at the properties of each symbol. You know what the contract size. You know what it means. You know what leverage is. You know what the pros and cons of leverage. You know what margin is, margin calling. All those things are vital. You do need money to trade. You need money to go shopping. You need money to spend. Why do you think people fight, skill, cheat, kill for the bloody stuff? Why is it 99% of problems people encounter, maybe 90%, 99% by pushing it, is usually financially related? So to come and think this is not going to be, if we can find that system, believe me, it'll be the most powerful bloody pill ever sold the world's ever seen. We haven't found it yet. And you won't find it sitting there on Instagram, trust me. No, you need money, yeah. Not just money, by the way, you need knowledge. Otherwise, money won't cut it. You need knowledge, you need the right equipment, and you need a balance to play with. And you need to be able to diversify. You can't on small money. I know I keep repeating myself, but I don't know, people not getting this. And basic understanding of percentages and arithmetic as well. And then you can start to learn and improve. Good. Yeah, miss that bloody, it hurts when you miss it. Pound dollar, it's doing beautifully. What a pity. Anyway. GBP CAD. It's coming out later on. No, that's, I'll be honest, I found my experience. The CAD usually is a bit of a disappointment, but I call it a damp squib, which basically means a bit of a letdown. So I wouldn't get cute in a straddle trade, which I think you're talking about there. So I wouldn't try and get cute on that one for a straddle trade. Often bit disappointing, but be aware of it. Apart from that, when you're entering Canadian trades, it could come up and bite. It all depends actually where it comes out as. If there's a horrendous difference between the actual, which would be surprising because these guys know what they're talking about. They put out an expected, but if a horrendous difference in expected and the actual, it could have a bigger movement. But most times that doesn't occur. So I think rather not try and trade it, just be aware it's there. Now, okay. Now let's talk about GBP CAD as we're on that subject, because I did quite like it as a potential trade, but I want to short it, but maybe slightly better price. Looks like there's anything happening. Let's look at what's the distance between the two. It's only 40 pip range at the moment. So there's obviously quite quiet volumes out there waiting for the news to come out. So I personally would leave the Canadian alone for the moment and wait till the CPI. It might get some direction then. Thank you very much for your support, Marcus. Good stuff. I like the war.
Tomorrow's is CPI for Britain as well, Rog.
That's correct. That's tomorrow, isn't it? I thought that was tomorrow. I think that's tomorrow. Just check. Yeah, CPI is tomorrow for Britain, and Canadians today at 2:30, same time with the ham shanks. That's Cockney rhyming slang for Yanks, by the way. So 8:30 tomorrow CPI for pound, yeah. Okay. I remembered it before. I see some upside on the dollar rand. It's hit a bit of a trend. Well, it's not sorry, it's a Fibonacci retracement. It seems to be holding a 38.2. Bearing in mind, like I mentioned last time, this much higher costs because it's not as large or as liquid as the majors or the crosses. You can get some bigger players interfering with it, so it's quite volatile and can be even more risky. And the margins are much higher. So it's not guys who are first-time traders or small accounts, but ones who know the score on this one, I see upside on that. So if you've got some money, you understand the extra costs, higher margin, and you know that because it's not as actively traded as the others, bigger players. In other words, a guy with $1 billion can play around with this. You can't play around with the euro dollar. It's not big enough, but certainly a guy with $1 billion, in fact, maybe even $100 million on a leveraged placing the bet on this one could actually get the price action jumping around. But if you're aware of that, I see a trade on this one on the upside. Good stuff, Marcus. Thanks. You're about to leave. I like that. Dollar rand, but yeah, the dollars are, yeah. I see upside on this one. seems to hold on the 50-day moving average, and the dollar is still fairly weak, strong rather. Where's the dollar doing at the moment? Yeah, dollars seem to be still doing okay. I'm not a great lover of the rand as a currency either. Yeah, don't want to get cute. I've actually taken it already, as a matter of fact, personally. I'm going to try and take to 1950, and I got it 1850 as my stop loss. Have a look at it if you like. But only those who know the scores. It's not your first time trade, and especially if you've got small amounts. Because it will take up more margin, and it is more costly. It's called an exotic. Okay, that's $300 a micro is your risk. Or 310 a micro, I should say, is your risk. So you need to have 5,000 Rand to justify that risk to get 1 micro. You need to be able to have enough free margin afterwards. So you've got another open trade or two you might not have, even so. And number 3, you got to understand it's a much higher cost involved because of its exotic status. And number 4, it is not as liquid as the other guys, so a smaller guy can move prices. That's why you get some strange jumping around. Is it fundamental? No, it's maybe a big player getting in or out, which wouldn't affect the euro dollar price action more than a couple of pips. It could move this 15 or 20 pips, the same kind of player. Just bear those points in mind. And if you have all that in order, I see a trade on that one. That's why we never send it out, guys. There's too many people, too small amount of money, and too small understanding of the trading, which they are trading anyway, and it causes confusion and tears. We don't want to do that. For the trader who will know the score, I see upside there. Yeah. Been jumping around today quite a bit, as you can see. That, for instance, no fundamentals there. In fact, the dollar was strengthened that late. So why has it happened? Probably a big player either taking profit on the short or just selling it down and moving out again. It's susceptible to that. We remember the majors are not, because they're too large. It takes a country like Japan to flick with the prices, and even then didn't last very long. But there you are, I feel like it. Money can be made, but that's why it's there. Okay. Good. Knock it off. Any other questions, guys? Quite a bit more fun this morning. Got some trades out. Bit more fun when it happens like that. Bit more action. And some help there for a couple of people asking questions like, where do you get the strategy from? Where the moving averages come in? These are useful. Then you get to learn where you can think for yourself and do your own look at it. You can look at it and say, hang on a minute. What's that trading idea come up for? I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean, I get all sorts of stuff sent through to me, mostly junk email, about these brilliant systems going. I don't take much notice of them because I'm happy with mine. I don't mind tweaking it, but but at least I feel like I can look at a strategy. I want you guys to be able to do that as well. I will be posting, by the way, I will be posting after the 11 o'clock close off here on my VIP group, the Disney sell trade. Don't forget, I know you guys probably know, but don't forget, again, that's just for 3:30 opening. Make sure you check the opening price before you get cute. We don't know what it's going to be, so we worked out the entry price for the open for the prices at the moment. We worked it out for the prices at the moment, but it might open so far down that you can't trade it, or higher up where you can maybe adjust your stop loss higher and still take the trade a better price. So just look at it, as we say, check it on opening. That's what that means. Okay, all good? Any questions on that? Please, you're not sure, stay. Like, well, who actually asked so long? Because it was quite important question. That I forget who it was now. Thanks, by the way, Florence, for your trade idea. So we can discuss it. Who was it again? It's very important. Why? Where do you get that strategy from? Can't remember. It was excellent. Okay. Actually, sorry, Marcus. I don't want to be snotty here, but I've been promoted to field marshal now. And so it's now with field marshal called Lord. So it's Lord Roger now. Moving along. I just want to thank you for sharing all your thoughts and knowledge with us. It helps a lot. Thank you. Okay. On a serious note, is that right, Marcus? Too many talking rubbish to read it properly. Thank you. Yeah, I when I'm in a good mood, I tend to, I start talking sort of rather adolescent banter. It means I'm in a good mood. So that's all it means. Okay. But when I hear things like that, it makes it all worthwhile. I don't need your bucks. I need your genuine support. And I like those sort of comments, understandably. That's what I want, Jacob. That's what I bloody want. Yo! Yeah, thank you. Marcus, now, do you feel honestly that you're not only learning something, you can actually start looking at a trade and getting some idea of an analysis on your own? I know you need a trade and a bit of backup support. Well, so do I, come to that. But do you feel you can look at a couple and get some idea of the analysis, or when you get a trade idea, have a look at yourself and get the idea where it's coming from? That's because that's the idea behind it. Because it's learning, saying, why did he send that out? I better ask the next trading room. It makes no sense to me. That's where you should be getting at. Oh, I see why he's doing that. You know what I mean? Good stuff. That's what you want to be getting at. And the good news is a lot of guys are doing this without years and years of study. Probably a few days is pushing it, but some guys can do it in a month or 2 months, something like that. Maybe slightly less, depending how many times they attend the trade room and can get away to do it. So don't panic, guys. You're new. It's not going to take years, like getting a degree. And then after you get the degree, you go to the bottom of the ladder to start learning the job, I think we all are, Zanelli. I think we all are, to be honest. Fandil mentioned that many times.
It's a day wasted if you don't learn anything new. And thanks for that, Rog. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And all of you with your contributions.
It is indeed, but something else, Farney, to learn something, you've got to be humble enough to receive it. The problem is too many people on the planet who think they already know it, especially going to something new and can't be taught. There's nothing you can do then. You know what I mean? If you ask for advice, they don't take it. It's quite common. So why bother asking advice, sort of thing? So to learn something, you've got to be humble enough to appreciate you don't know everything to learn it. And I've learned the hard way. We've all been a little bit sort of cocky, especially younger. I certainly was. And all I know this bloody stuff. What's this bloody guy been trained for a week telling me? And he came up with something right and I got it wrong. So you learn to eat humble pie pretty quickly and respect everyone. And even if they've been doing it a week, they might come to the point you missed. Yeah. So yeah. And we're here like a democratic, where we're not going to fight you because you're against my narrative like the world's media. We learn from each other. Very important. Basically, what I want you to do is say, if I hadn't joined the trading room, hadn't attended the trading room, would I have been, would I have received no benefit? What I'm trying to say, have I seen that's made a major difference to my trading expertise by trading, by joining the trading room? That's the goal I'm after. Because I personally, I think, guys who just buy the stock market college package, but don't attend the trading or can't find time or whatever, I personally think they're going to battle. I personally think this trading room is I think is essential for the practical aspect. But I'm not saying to build myself up here, but just I honestly think it's very, very important. I can honestly say if you guys would have, if you hadn't attended the trading room, you'd have benefited or it always made no difference. I'll accept it, but I'd be surprised. I'm not fishing. I'm just saying what I'm thinking, ADCHF, we got in at 35. It's only moved a little bit. Okay, we're on the 1 hour chart. Okay, moved a little bit, so in profit, but not enough to modify just yet. AUD USD was at 60, 14 pips. It's all right, but too close to modify. What else we got at? Euro USD, we got in at, what do we get at? 550. What's it now? Getting close, eh? Nearly 20 pips. If you can just drop down to 30 and below, you can modify. It's on the 1 hour. Just got to break this guy here. It might bounce from here. It's back to break. Just need to break here. What's the dollar doing? Just a second. Dollar's still strong, so hopefully it's going to break through there. Just wait if it breaks to 30 on the buy to modify your stop to entry. Those are three, yeah. NZC, CHF, they're, at least they're in profit, eh? GBP, I don't want to look at. It's getting, oh no, look, it's still going down. Oh, I'm not on board. Oh, shame. Sorry, guys. NZD, CHF. Yep, it's NZD. Where is it now? Yep, it's trying to move back down. It's just got to break the 53 mark, get some decent movement. But anyway, you should have your stop at break even now, so you're covered. Yes, exactly, Marcus. But remember, he's quiet. It's a war room. So remember, guys, no fighting in the war room now. Remember that. It is such a darling. I like that, Jacob. Yeah, it's such a darling. It's a bit of an old joke, that, Marcus. Actually, it was during the last war. You had the war room in the last war, and they had a big notice up there. No fighting in the war room. Just thought it was quite amusing. So they're trying to come to the party. Just remember, guys, tempting, fear, the jumping around it might be. Don't get the stop too close. And try not to look at them all the bloody time. Try not to, if you can. It will play with your mind. Don't care how tough you are. Okay. Anyone take the dollar ZAR, by the way? Anyone take this trade? If you didn't, I have no problem with that. It is, for the reason I gave, only for the few. Just a second. Got to take this call. Hang on a second. A word of that. You're from the courier company, correct? Are you in Yuvonga? Okay, I'm just finishing the trading room at the moment. Are you at the gate at Drift Sands? Okay, I've got to let you in. Okay, I'm sure the guys forgive me for doing it. So just hang on 2 seconds. I'll come and let you in. Okay. Thanks, Ed. Bye. It's supposed to give me some. Sorry about that, guy. Is a courier come to do something, and he's supposed to give me notice. He just pitched up at the security gate. Now I've got to let him in. I do beg your pardon. It's only a few minutes to go. You can hang on until I get back if you like, but I have to let him in. He's come all the way down from Derbs. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like we have to close this thing off. Shall we get Jake on of open and close trades via email? That's correct. Yeah. Will they give out monthly? I don't know about that. It would make my journeys with you. They might do monthly. I don't know. You always check on your history anyway. Session. Yeah, I'll have to shoot now. It's only 5 minutes to go anyway. But the guy's having some problems out there. I've got to try and help them sort out. Sorry about that, but yeah, it's been useful. I haven't got any much more to add. So yeah, I think we can chat tomorrow morning. Okay, guys, catch you then. Thanks anyway. Supposed to give me notice, didn't bother, just arrived, you know what I mean? It's too heavy for them or some bloody thing. Okay, all right, guys, sorry about that. Catch you tomorrow morning and we'll take it from there. Cheers, hey.